The following is a presentation of Manatee Schools Television in association with TV production teachers and students.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another Manatee Schools broadcast here. Today we have the Lakewood Ranch Mustangs squaring off against Southeast Seminoles here today. Should be a pretty good matchup. You got Lakewood Ranch sitting at 3-10 and Southeast sitting at 9-4.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's William Ailes here to do your color commentary.
And Mason Best on play-by-play.
As we have our national anthem. That concludes the national anthem as we get ready for this game. Hugely important matchup here. Lakewood Ranch coming into this game 3-10 to the Southeast 9-4 record. This is going to be a big game for them. A struggle because they're facing huge injuries to their team. We'll see how they can adapt and make the most out of this.
Yeah, be rooting for a good game today. Nice close matchup, hopefully.
We can only hope. We have Scalzo coming out. Scalzo's a big, he's a huge player for this team. He's leading the league, leading the team in points per game after 9-2.
Yeah, and Lakewood Ranch will have become a big obstacle to start here with 6 players not playing today. So they've got a long road out ahead of them today.
I mean, namely among those is Dower. I mean, he's an amazing defender, just a freshman. His absence in this team is a big deal. He's a huge offensive player as well as
yeah, and luckily for the Seminoles, they got everybody healthy and ready to go today.
And the Southeast team is looking fierce right now. We have all of our weapons out there. Too much football for me.
Number 5, Pierce Smith.
Hey, the playoffs right around the corner here.
And finally, senior, number 30, Jamari Gibbons.
And this Southeast starting five is full of threats. I mean, we have huge defensive threats in Jalen Bird and Lawrence Powell out there, or excuse me, Keith Powder, as well as, I mean, the giant offensive threat of Jamari Bivens, who's averaging 16.3 points a game. That is massive, and he is absolutely a deciding factor in this Southeast offense.
Yeah, as we get ready for tip-off here, Southeast looks like a little bit of size advantage in the center here. I mean, it's tough to match up against a guy who's 6'4".
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Bird is an absolute unit, especially with his defensive stats. I mean, he's been leading the team so far, and we'll see if he can continue that performance in this game.
Don't take it back.
And Mason, going into this game, what are you looking to see from the Southeast team?
I'm going to get hot here. They did here. They started a little bit slow, but really in the second. So we get ready here.
Faced up against it statistically.
He's going to win the tip-off there as Bird flips it back to Horns. And Horns passes to Smith. Smith around to Bivens. Bivens back to Smith. Smith takes the shot off the front of the rim. Recovered by Lakewood Ranch. As we got Scalzo coming up the middle here. Nice bounce pass to the outside to Olstad. Back to Butler, who takes the shot. Just short. Back to Scalzo. Over to Olstad, who gets blocked by Bird. It's a great job there to get up and get that one.
Absolutely, and again, that's what you get when you get a guy who's 6'4", you know?
Yeah,
Olstad,
I would not want to get in the paint with him.
Olstad, not a short guy himself at 6'2".
Both much taller than me.
Certainly.
Scalzo flips it out to the outside to Smith there.
Smith
Into the paint to Henry.
See what Henry can do. Facing some struggle. There we go.
Nice job to punch in that layup there. As we now have Smith coming down the sideline for Southeast, and Bivens steps back, just short on the three. But it's recovered by Southeast, by Horns, who flips out to Bird, who takes the shot. Back to Bivens to the outside.
See what he can do. Look for him to go outside.
Flips it back to Bird. Back to the outside to Smith. Bivens is going to take another shot here. A little long on that one, off the back of the rim there. Horns flips it back out to Smith here. See if they can get something going. Into the paint. And Southeast's going to tie this one up with their layup of their own.
And with the size advantage, you want to keep doing that. Keep Bird in the paint and just let him eat.
Because Lakewood Ranch past the outside, and that's going to be a turnover there. Smith takes it back up the side. He's going to shoot the layup, and it's going to be blocked by Lakewood Ranch, who recovers it. And then Scalzo coming up the middle here.
And it's important to note, not only is Bivens a fantastic offensive player, but he's also our guard. He's a fantastic defensive player.
Butler flips it back behind his back to Smith, who flips it into the inside back to Butler, who flips it back to Henry. Henry takes another layup shot. Little teeterer there, but it bounces in.
And again, it seems like we have a back and forth here between Henry and Henry and Bird. Two
both
big
huge
men.
weapons in the paint.
Controlling them is going to be controlling the pace of this game.
Bivens and Bird playing a little patty cake on the outside there.
If I'm Lakewood Ranch, I'm doing everything in my power to keep Bird out of the paint. And you can see that there. So we have Henry
Bivens taking another shot. Just a little long on that one again off the rim. Going to be recovered by Lakewood Ranch. They got Smith running right down the side. He's going to go up for the layup. Great job to block that one by Southeast. Beautiful job by Smith there. Smith is going to go for a layup of his own, and it's going to get blocked and swatted away by Henry. Two beautiful defensive plays there.
Absolutely. You saw Potter getting his first touch of the game here. It's important to note, Potter is an absolute star of this team so far. He's 10.8 points per game and a huge defensive plus.
Southeast flips it back in here to Horns, who passes it to Smith. It goes back outside to Wade Perkins.
Back to Perkins.
Who's going to push it into the paint. It's going to be taken away by Lakewood Ranch. Great takeaway there by Olstad, who flips it out to the outside of Butler, who takes a shot at the layup, and it's going to be good.
And you see how strategically they're using Bivens, just taking him out almost immediately to get a little bit more size there in Shepard Perkins.
As Potter goes up in the paint, and you hear a whistle come in on that one. Looks like Henry just got a little too close.
That's to be expected. And that's going to be Bird taking free throw.
We're going to see our first free throws of the day here.
Important note, he leads the team in free throw percentage, which, I mean, good thing to have when you're the big man.
Yeah, absolutely. First one just spins out of there.
You can see with Bird, he's a tall guy, but I mean, he's also definitely has some size to him and can throw players around in the paint if you're not careful.
See if we can get this second one here. Second one's going to roll in. It's going to be 6-3 Lakewood Ranch right now. We got Scalzo turning the ball right over to Bird. Bird takes it into the paint, flips it back outside to Smith, who flips a layup in. Beautiful layup there.
Absolutely. And now with number 4 here, you've seen Jaden Smith on Lakewood Ranch play a bigger role than he has in the past with how many injuries they have. We'll see if he can step up to the plate and use big shoes to fill.
As we see Smith flip back outside to Butler, who pushes into the paint.
Contested by Bird fantastically.
There must have been 12 hands up there. I think every player in the paint jumped up for that one.
As Potter drives it down the court to...
As Potter takes a shot. And that one's going to be good. Beautiful shot there by Potter.
Speaking of Smith down the court.
Nice.
To
Olstad take it down, punch it into Henry, and it just runs right through his hands.
Off the hands of Henry, and that's a tough one. You got to make that catch, but they reset, and Southeast gets another opportunity here. He scores 6-7 so far.
Hey, got to shake off the Butterfingers.
Everybody has a couple.
As we see Horns bring it in here for Southeast, who flips it inside to Potter and outside to Bird.
Bird playing more on the outside than you see somebody like Hawk doing. An interesting strategy for Southeast.
See Potter with a beautiful side pass into the middle.
That was really an incredible pass. I mean, unfortunate that that paint was so hotly contested, but that was a weird one.
Beautiful pass in the middle there, but just too many Mustang defenders in there.
As you can see in that replay, fantastic.
Ooh, and Lakewood Ranch is going to tip the pass back in. It's going to still be recovered by Smith, though. Perkins pushes into the paint, flips to Potter, and Potter punches in the layup.
That was a really athletic play. I mean, he was coming in there very hot, and to convert all that forward momentum into vertical momentum is so much harder than it looks.
Lakewood Ranch is going to have another beautiful lob pass outside to Olstad.
To Smith,
back to Smith, and he's good from 3. That's a beautiful shot from 3 there.
That was smooth. Looks like he might have been fouled there. A correction, he wasn't.
As you're gonna see Potter take this one here and flip outside to Smith. Sorry, excuse me.
Back to Smith.
Smith's gonna push it into the paint, take a shot at the layup. Just a little too much force on that one. Bounces back to Bird, who flips outside to Perkins. And Perkins just overshoots Bird on the outside there.
And it looked like there was a bit of miscommunication there. Bird driving inwards and the pass coming outwards.
Both go in the opposite directions there.
Now you can see when Bivens isn't in, it almost seems like it takes both Smith and Horns to fill his role in sort of contesting up the court.
Definitely, as we see Scalzo and Smith here just playing a little patty cake in the middle. Scalzo passes.
Offense here, not wanting to make the extra. Coach is happy about that.
Back to Olstad, back around to Scalzo on the around. Yeah. Back to Smith, back to Scalzo, who takes the 3. Ooh, just a little bit right on that one.
You see that screen didn't quite take hold there, just managed to, but almost a
as Potter takes the shot. And Potter's good from 3.
It's cash.
Some would say cash money.
Some would. Some would. You would, Mason.
Absolutely. As you see Smith bring this one back up the outside, flip to the other side to Scalzo. Back to the left side to Smith. Pushes into the paint, flips behind his back to Butler. Butler to the paint. Just to the outside, recovered by Henry, but tipped into the hands of Bird. Bird's pushing down the middle of the court. He is full on that one.
And he isn't quite able to get control of the ball through at that.
Just slipped there and just had to hold on to the ball.
It's impressive how quick Bird can be down the court, though. I mean, that's what happens when you have the leg sort of length you get being 6'4".
Definitely, he was moving there.
Now going into the huddle, Mason, what do you think Lakewood Ranch is saying?
Got to keep it up. They're right in this game right here. 9-12, sorry. Anybody's game.
Absolutely. And do you see them sort of changing their strategy with Henry here? I mean, he's been sitting in the paint. And you see Southeast using a total strategy here and having some success.
I think both teams came into this with a good mindset so far, and it's been working pretty well, both of them.
And it is a little too early to tell.
A couple shots bounce off the rim and go in, instead of bouncing off the rim and go in here, and you're looking at a completely different game.
Absolutely. It shows. I mean, these guys practice so hard, they work so hard, and they try so hard, but there is such a huge component of this game that's luck.
As both teams coming out of this timeout here with the same group of players in.
Looks like Southeast getting ready to
flip back out to Potter out there. And Potter's going to take the 3, and he's just long on it. Recovered by Olstad of the Mustangs. And you have Scalzo bringing it up the middle. Scalzo flips outside to Smith. Smith flips back outside to Olstad, who flips out to Butler. And Perkins got a hand on that one, but it was recovered by Butler still, who just throws it away. Thought he had somebody behind him.
That's good pressure defense that you have on there.
Yeah, he thought he had somebody behind him, and he did not.
And that's something that I know the Southeast coaches worked on here, working less design plays and more pressure. And that's something that can only happen when you have a team that communicates well. And that's really hard to find. That's something that, you know, you work on, but it's also a matter of luck in the kids that you get. The Scouts takes a shot, and it's going to be just
as
long.
Southeast brings in Trey Hines. It's going to be blocked by Bird. And you have Horns running right up the middle. Takes the layup, and he's good. Must say the layups for both sides have been very clean.
Absolutely. I don't know the ones that missed a layup yet.
Smith to the outside to Scalzo.
Tipped
pass to Olstead. And Butler's going to flip it back to Olstead, who's just going to bounce it right off the backboard.
It's going to be a foul. Olstead to take 2 free throws. Now, Mason, what do you have to say about the pace of the game so far?
They've been very fast-paced. There hasn't been a lot of dancing around and passing in the middle of the court like we saw a couple days ago, or a couple weeks ago now. They've been moving into the paint very quickly.
Absolutely, and I mean, that's something that we'll see as this game progresses, how that develops as he takes a shot. Let's see.
As Olstead makes his second one.
That's something we'll see develop as the game continues and these guys, you know, tire. Can they keep up that same pace?
As you see Horns go back out to the outside, take the shot, flip to Bird, and looked like Bird got fouled on that one.
Yeah, it looks like that's a foul.
You don't usually see people end up on the ground like that.
Nope. We'll see him take, looks like 3.
We'll see if we can jinx it for the opposite here. Both teams are 1 for 2 on their free throws here. Let's see if we can do the opposite of an announcer's jinx and do it for good.
Oh, he's playing God over here, Mason.
And that did not work.
Yeah, that hypothesis might have been a little off.
Yeah, I don't think there's much factual evidence backing that one up. Misses the second one too there, so I must have jinxed it, not helped.
Wow, way to go, Mason. So you took our best free throw shooter and you gave him the yips.
See if he can make the third. He makes the third though, so.
Smooth third too.
The Smith's gonna take a shot down the court, right into Bird's hands, but makes sense as the period's running out there. Just see if you can get one in the basket there. You don't see it very often, but hey, if it would have went in, bet you it would have erupted in here.
Absolutely, and we have a good news promo. I think we're getting ready. To show something that MSTV's been working on through their Good News program, and we're happy to present it for you.
As we're back into the action here, Henry in the paint flipping outside to Smith. He flips backwards to Butler, who takes the shot from 3, just off the front of the rim. It's going to be recovered by Southeast here with Bivens coming right down the left side. Flipping outside to Potter, who goes back outside to Dawes, who takes the shot from 3. Bird recovers, attempts to shoot the layup off the front of the rim and recovered by Lakewood Ranch. Wow, what a crazy sequence there.
Yeah, that was a little hectic there. You see Dawes, a new addition to the varsity lineup here, not even on our rosters. He's a guard. He's also a 6-foot junior, and we'll see what he can do in this game so far. He's a bit of an unknown.
Hey, the shot from 3 looked pretty good to start. So
it did look good, and I mean, as we see.
Just a little long on Bird's first shot there, just off the back of the rim. As Lakewood Ranch makes a substitution and brings in Richmond. And Bird's going to miss the second one too, but it's going to be recovered by Olstad, who flips outside to Richmond.
Richmond trying to make progress, but struggling against Bivens. Let's see Olstad open. Let's see how Bird can contest it.
And Bird swats that one away.
Again, being 6'4", he's got that reach advantage, as we see in this replay. He goes up, but he just manages to get a hand on it.
See as Scalzo passes it in here to Olstad, who goes back to Scalzo. Scalzo takes the three, just off the back of the rim. And you have Butler bringing it into the paint, shoots the layup, misses, recovered by Henry, who also shoots the layup, misses.
Another recovery,
recovered by Henry again,
down, right?
and misses it again. That's another crazy sequence in the paint there, back to back.
Yeah, I think things are just getting hectic here. I mean, I can understand, right, why Southeast wants a super fast sort of pace of game, right? The Lakewood Ranch bench is depleted. There's not much that they can do in terms of substitutions, so you want to tire them out. But
absolutely,
at times that leads to sloppy play, and it's something you just have to tighten up as a team.
As Henry's going to miss the first one there.
Hey, watch out, get this rebound.
We'll see Henry take his second three.
He's going to miss the second one too, but it's going to be covered by Butler of Lakewood Ranch. Flip back outside and recovered by Butler again, but he's going to bounce it inbounds and it's going to fly out.
They can't push in the back.
As we see Potter bring this one in and just hand it off to Bivens.
And again, you notice the switch here. Bivens now handling sort of the directing of the offense here.
As Bivens goes to the fresh player of Powell, who flips to Potter, takes two shots in the paint and gets him swatted away, and flips back outside to Bivens on the right side, who flips it to Dawes over the middle, but gets it swatted away, goes back outside to Bivens.
And you see Richmond, the guard, trying really hard to not let Bivens make any progress there.
Bivens gets the ball swatted away there by Jaden Richmond of Lakewood Ranch.
So going to reset.
You see Dawes bring this one in and pass it right out to Bivens. Back outside to Powell. Into the paint for Potter. Back outside to Dawes. Back to Bivens. Bivens is going to take the three. Just a little long, but recovered by Potter. Potter puts up the layup, and it's just short. Bird attempts the layup, and Bird's going to punch it in. Beautiful layup there by Bird.
Absolutely, and again, just a little hectic in the paint. Things get crazy.
You see Richmond and Scalzo playing a little patty cake here. Richmond's going to go to Butler. Olstad's going to go to Henry. Henry's going to take the shot in the paint and bounce that one in.
Those are fantastic passes there, especially Olstad's.
And you have Bivens pushing it down the field here.
And just a laser pass.
Bivens to Potter. Potter takes a three, just a little long. Recovered by Lakewood Ranch.
And Richmond.
Turnover here.
Turnover.
Bivens is going to go up to the layup. And Bivens is good.
He makes it. I don't think there's been that many uncontested layups in this game so far, as we're seeing fierce defense from both sides.
No, and that one was left wide open. Out to Olstad here. Olstad moves in, takes the shot, just a little long.
A little bit of an air ball there.
We have Dawes bringing this one back. And Dawes goes to Powell.
Powell going to take time to reset.
Powell's going to bounce it to Potter, who's going to go back outside to Dawes. Who's going to flip back to Bivens. Bivens pushes into the paint. Looks like he slipped a little. Passes it to Bird. Bird with a hook shot, just a little long. Back outside to Powell. Off the rim. And I don't know who touched that one.
That's going to be out on Lakewood Ranch, so it's going to be Bivens recovering.
I couldn't even see who hit it. They both were running at it.
My life flashed before my eyes, Mason.
I didn't want to see anybody go counter surfing up here.
No, I mean, something we've seen out of the Southeast offense, always making the extra pass. Again, I mean, that's such a classic thing a coach would say, but a fantastic thing to see from a team just playing smart more than playing selfish.
And Smith's going to take a beautiful shot there. As Southeast makes another sub and brings back in Landon Horns. You have Scalzo passing outside to Henry, just gets broken up by Powell.
And
Great job to just break that one
and
up.
Horns, the point guard, going to bring more organization into this game so far, and clearly rethinking the pace of play, and things are slowing down just a little bit more.
Scalzo's going to go back over the middle to Richmond, back outside to Butler, into the paint for Henry. Butler takes the three, in and out of the net there.
Heartbreaking.
Absolutely. You have Powell taking it back for Southeast here, who pushes it into the paint, takes the layup, and it's tipped by Bird back in. Wow.
Gorgeous Euro step.
That one was bouncing out, and it's a great job to put that one back in.
And he's up.
Scalzo to Butler, and that one play is going to be blown dead. You see Lakewood Ranch bring this one here. Got Butler on the right side. He's going to pass into the paint for Almeida, who's going to go back out to the outside for Henry. Richmond's going to take it into the paint, and that's going to get swatted away by Bird, and Bivens got a lot of room to run. And he's going to put that layup in easy. That's another uncontested one.
And again, I mean, Lakewood Ranch has to watch how many are let up like that. It's a slippery slope.
As we have Richmond back on the right side of the court here.
And what we've seen so far is
lob pass to Henry, out to Scalzo, who takes the shot and has it roll out again. It's going to be recovered by Powell of Southeast.
And what we've seen from Lakewood Ranch so far is their usual star players, Scalzo and Butler, kind of struggling to make a dent in this Southeast defense so far.
Southeast is going to have a turnover here. And you're going to have Almeida running down the court.
Make the extra pass.
Richmond makes the layup.
That was a gorgeous pass.
It was beautiful.
Almeida just behind. There we go.
Didn't even give Bird a chance to get a hand on it.
No, not at all, which trust me, he would have. He would have loved to.
As we have Smith taking the shot here, and that's going to be good. Another beautiful jumper. Butler passing back over the head of Smith, into the middle for Scalzo, to the right side for Henry, back to Scalzo over the middle, into the paint for Almeida, back to Henry. Henry's going to take the three, and that one's going to be long. It's going to be recovered by Bird.
And interesting that we're not seeing Almeida take more shots from the paint. I mean, he's a tall guy himself, sitting at 6'4". He can contest Bird, but just doesn't feel comfortable.
Going to overshoot another one, and Bird's going to get up in there and punch it right back in. That's got to be the fourth time he's done that this game alone.
And you see as they take a timeout, Lakewood Ranch start to sort of counter what Southeast is doing here by bringing in two bigs. You saw Southeast do the same exact thing when they brought out when they took out Bivens immediately in the first and put in Shepard Perkins.
Southeast has the health to play with right now. They've got a bench full of players ready to go in at any time. Lakewood Ranch does not.
And that's the thing. That's exactly it. They can try out tons of different looks, and Lakewood Ranch really has limited ability in how they can react to it. So that's something as a coach that's just a nightmare to deal with. And you can only hope that the players are going out there and putting out their best performance.
Yeah, you'd really like to see them get some points on the board here really quick, because you know your players are going to start to get fatigued.
And you can see that shaking in the camera, and you can feel it in your chest here too. This is a full game, and the Southeast cheer making the bleachers shake in support. Things quiet down here as we're about to get back into it.
With 2 minutes and 6 seconds left in the second period here, Southeast is going to be up 30-14. You'd like to see Lakewood Ranch cut this deficit to maybe 10.
Just a little delay as we mop something up there.
We have Scalzo, who's new substitution for Lakewood Ranch here. Number 2.
Unfortunately, it looks like he's not on our roster. Our apologies.
So Butler's going to go to Scalzo. Scalzo's going to take the three, and he's going to be good. Beautiful shot from Scalzo there.
Yeah, it looks like that might have been blown dead just before.
It was. And that was a beautiful shot, too.
And again, that's what we're used to seeing from Scalzo, but it's been hard so far with how much pressure Southeast has been putting on. Again, I talked about that pressure defense they've been playing.
Now we have Fields in for Southeast, who has the ball right now, who flips back out to Horns. Now we have Bird to Smith, back to Horns, who takes the layup and is going to be good. Scalzo's going to go back to Butler, who's going to go number 2. Butler's going to go back to the middle. He's going to back out to Butler. Butler's going to go back to Scalzo. Butler's going to push into the paint, and he's going to get fouled on that one.
Dillahay.
As Lakewood Ranch is going to make another substitution here. And they're going to pass inside to Olstad. Back outside to Dillahay.
Vertical on Olstad right there. That was really impressive.
Back to Scalzo. Scalzo's going to take the 3, and he's going to be good. Beautiful shot there by Scalzo.
That jumper is smooth.
As you have Smith bringing it back in for Southeast here. Go back outside to Horns. Passing back and forth here, wasting a little time. Picked up by Hines. Back out to Horns. It's going to be blown dead there.
And it looks like we have another substitution coming.
Southeast is going to bring in Wade Perkins.
To sub out Horns.
We're going to be looking at 35 seconds left here.
And Southeast making lots of substitutions. Again, something that Lakewood Ranch unfortunately cannot do. Just keeping that bench super fresh.
Smith's going to pass outside to Hines. Back outside to Fields. Fields is going to take the 3, just a little far to the left. And that ball is just going to roll out of bounds. You're looking at 21 seconds left here. Lakewood Ranch really, you'd like to see him get some points on the board here. Southeast has the ball, though.
Yeah, Southeast leading 17-32.
And Smith is going to bring this one in perfectly content, just wasting away some of this clock.
And I mean, that's to be expected right now. You see Scalzo putting on some pressure. Gallon
Smith pushes it into the paint, misses the layup. It's going to be recovered by Dillahay, who's going to flip outside to Scalzo. Scalzo's going to take the 3, just a little far to the right. He rushed a little bit as the clock was winding down to 0 there, and it was just a little far to the right. Something interesting you saw there is Gallon putting on some pressure just as they're ending the clock, just to try and force an error there, and it looks like they got it, but weren't able to convert. So we're going to go into halftime here, and Southeast is going to be leading 32-17 over the Mustangs. Will, what'd you see in that first half here from the Mustangs?
I mean, you saw really impressive basketball, but unfortunately just not able to keep up the intensity that Southeast can with that larger bench. You've definitely seen some less than average performance from their starts. By no means bad games, but the points are coming in from different ways, right? They're coming in from Henry. They're coming in from they're coming in from Smith, Jaden Smith, who normally is not a factor in this offense.
What would you like to see him keep up in the second half for change here?
I'd like to see them try and slow things down and just play more sort of designed plays. Slow down the pace of game. That's what they want, right? They want more controlled basketball. And if they can get that, then there's a much higher chance of success for them going forward.
Couldn't agree more there. What'd you see from Southeast in the first half as well?
I mean, from Southeast, you saw, kind of the opposite, right? They want to speed things up. They want to play aggressive. They want to put the pressure on, and they're doing it really successfully. It's one thing to see a team that can put on pressure. It's another to see a team that can put on pressure and communicate, right?
Absolutely.
When the intensity goes up, they're still making good plays. They're still making smart plays, and they're still making the extra pass.
Absolutely. Anything you'd like to see him change here in the second half or keep up?
I'd like to see, see how many different looks we can get for this offense, right? We had 2 bigs in, we had 1 big in, we had no big in. See how we can play with this and just try and find, what is it that Lakewood Ranch struggles to deal with? Because once you find that right combination, you can really make them hurt.
Absolutely, and you were starting to sound like Dr. Seuss there.
Susie, they call me. And looks like we're going to go to break here. The score, 17-32, Southeast leading, and we'll see you next.
We'll be back for the third period here.
So today, actually, actually at 8 different elementary schools. We're celebrating First Responders Day with Food Nutrition Services is hosting firemen to come in and have a free lunch and a free cookie and just be with the kids, and it's really exciting for them. And I know that at different schools they've made thank you cards and posters, and I think we might even get a little singing celebration. Thank you, good to let children see adults also giving appreciation and thanks. It's important that they see us doing that so they can also know how to do that in the future, and also to see all those different careers and build relationships with those first responders in the community. We've done this for a few years, and it's been a school here and a school there, and this year I wanted to just maybe make it a little bit bigger and try it at some different schools. So we kind of looked for schools that had a fire station close by and invited those firefighters to come join us. Obviously our first focus is on students, and this is a great combination of engaging our community and letting the students engage their community. The firemen get some joy out of it, our staff, food service gets joy out of it, and the students obviously get joy out of it. So it's a win-win all around. So today, actually at 8 different elementary schools, we're celebrating First Responders Day with Food Nutrition Services is hosting firemen to come in and have a free lunch and a free cookie and just be with the kids, and it's really exciting for them. And I know that at different schools they've made thank you cards and posters, and I think we might even get a little singing celebration. Thank you. Good to let children see adults also giving appreciation and thanks. It's important that they see us doing that so they can also know how to do that in the future, and also to see all those different careers and build relationships with those first responders in the community. We've done this for a few years, and it's been a school here and a school there, and this year I wanted to just maybe make it a little bit bigger and try it at some different schools. So we kind of looked for schools that had a fire station close by and invited those firefighters to come join us. Obviously our first focus is on students, and this is a great combination of engaging our community and letting the students engage their community. The firemen get some joy out of it, our staff, food service gets joy out of it, and the students obviously get joy out of it. So it's a win-win all around.
You probably think about one of the modes being just pushing the mic and talking. And that's called voice or phone. It's just a term, an oldie term they use. But that's one of the more common modes, is people want to talk to each other.
Amateur radio is the original STEM hobby.
I stretched it out.
Back in 2016, I got my amateur radio license, and then I got more involved in the local club. Then I became a teacher. It's my 4th year teaching. And I said, wow, is there any way I can introduce amateur radio to the students? During my 3rd year teaching, I started the process rolling. Part of that process is establishing a club. And the club isn't just an after-school club, it's an amateur radio club. We have our own call sign, we have our own station. I was able to get a grant from the ARRL for $2,000 to get us started on the equipment. And then it was just a matter of engaging with the principal and other admins to formally create the student club and then recruit some kids to join.
I think it's really cool. It's about amateur radio and how do they work and how do you use them and all those sort of things. I'm glad that this exists, so I have something fun to do, and there's some nice people in here too.
I thought it was cool that you can transmit and send messages to all around the world rather than just a concentrated area. So you can make connections to other people. You can probably make a group around the world, and I thought that's pretty awesome.
For these students, I want to get them interested in not only the hobby, but the technology behind it. There's computer components, there's certainly electrical engineering components, there's social components, and then it's also preparing for a license that they can get through a license exam, and there's no age limitation. You can be any age and get this license. So I intend to get as many of these kids licensed in the next 12 months as possible. There's just so much radio in use all around us. I believe it's important to have amateur radio as a persistent entity, and this is what I can do in the community to feed the next generation of amateur radio operators. So.
Outside to Bivens. Bivens going over the middle to Smith. Smith is going back out to Bivens. Back to Smith.
As we see again, Bird not penetrating to the paint like
Back
Hawk.
to Bivens, out to Potter.
Now he does, finds his opportunity.
Back to Smith, back to Bird. Bird's going to take the shot at the layup off the front of the rim.
Smith gets that rebound.
You're going to see Butler take this one down the right side of the court. Butler's going to push into the paint, flip it back out to Scalzo. Scalzo is going to take the three. And it's going to be just long, and it's going to be recovered by Smith on Southeast.
And I have to say, it's pure conjecture, but Jaden Smith is listed at 6'2", but he definitely looks taller to me. I mean, he can totally contend with Bird, especially because he has a decent vertical.
Lakewood Ranch is going to push this one back down the left side of the court here with Olstad. Olstad's going to push into the paint. It looks like that one got tipped.
And you can hear every squeak in this gym, and certainly every chirp.
Definitely, and they're not wrong. Southeast should turn this energy back up.
Let's not slow things down now.
Here's Smith, go outside to Bivens. Bivens to Bird.
Bird taking his
Bird
time.
back to Bivens. Bivens into the paint. He's going to try and flip the layup, and that one's going to go off the side of the backboard.
You see how his teammates rush to him. I mean, that's great to see. Exactly. I mean, regardless of team, regardless of play.
You always love it when you have your teammates pick you back up.
Absolutely, and just knowing that you have your teammates behind you and your teammates have your back is it's something special. And I mean, you can see it in the way Southeast plays, right? I mean, they are literally always, you know, making that pass, and we've seen beautiful passes from him so far.
Bivens going to be good on the first one. Will he be able to get the second one here?
I'm going to wager yes.
And that wager would not have cashed there.
So you had to jinx one, now I've jinxed one. We're even.
That means I'm probably going to jinx another one.
I mean, surely.
We see Butler here for Lakewood Ranch. Pass back out to Scalzo. Scalzo's going to push it up.
Scalzo taking his time
back to Smith. Smith is going to take the three, and that one's very long.
Yeah, it's going to be a penalty.
Butler made an attempt to put that one back into the hoop, but did not work.
And he gets two. Let's see what he can do with them. Score 17-33.
Still in this thing. Going to take a comeback, but you're still in it. Butler's going to make the first one here.
I mean, I'm sure that's what Coach said, right, in that locker room during halftime is, you know, when you're immature, when you're a high schooler, you're always going to want to count yourself out of a game like this early, especially in the situation that Lakewood Ranch is in. And just reminding them that you're still in it, you're still playing, is really important.
And he's going to be good for the second one here. And yeah, absolutely. As you see, Horns take it out to the outside. Bivens going to take the shot. Recovered by Potter. Back outside to Powell. Powell's going to take the shot. Powell's off the back of the rim. Recovered by Henry of Lakewood Ranch.
Scalzo going to take it down the court. Gets Bivens with a little jab cross.
Scalzo to Richmond. To Butler.
Butler drives
into
in.
the paint. Back to Henry. Henry's going to take a shot at the layup. Misses. Recovers his own rebound. And is going to put it in.
And you can see, I mean, when you have size like Henry, it's easy to contest in the paint like that.
Very hard to block.
Very hard to block. It's a lot of mass moving at you.
Smith's going to go outside to Horns, to Bivens, to Bird.
Bird taking his time.
Bird's going to go back to Bivens.
Reset to Bivens.
Smith's going to take the shot, a little short. Recovered by Olstad. Flips to Richmond.
And you see Potter, the guard, I mean, happy to go in the paint regardless of size, even though Bird has the slight reach advantage. Potter's leading the team in rebounds, averaging 6.8.
Richmond flips it to Butler, who flips it to Olstad. Back outside to Richmond. Back inside to Olstad. Olstad's going to take the shot. Spins right out of there. Up the left side here for Horns. Horns going to put it into the paint. Potter's going to flip back outside. Potter's going to take the shot. Lakewood Ranch is going to recover. Butler's running down the court.
Those beautiful passes.
Olstad's going to take the shot, and he's going to push one in.
Those beautiful passes like you just saw from Horns are why he's the assist leader on the team. He's definitely a guy that can organize an offense.
Absolutely. And you saw in a lot of these layups here, he's been involved in them.
And between being the assist and the steal leader of the team, his role is sort of focused on making new opportunities.
Definitely. You get a lot of your teammates going, and that's huge.
I mean, basketball is a game of momentum, right? I mean, things seem slow now, but they make, two good threes. They make a good drive down the court that absolutely changes the momentum of the game, and it changes their trajectory.
A lot can change very quickly here.
As we see Coach Hollop talking to his team, urging them, talking to the bench.
As you look for Southeast to just keep up the speed and momentum here, you don't want to let Lakewood Ranch grab a hold of that momentum. And if you're Lakewood Ranch, you need to grasp it right now.
And that's something they've been, kind of successful at coming back into this period.
Yeah, you'd like to see that roll continue here. Keep Southeast off the scoreboard, and you'd like to keep racking up the points on your side. You see Perkins flip it inside here to Hines. Hines the outside to Fields. Hines back to Perkins. Perkins to Hines. Hines is going to take the shot. That one rolls out of there. It's going to be recovered by Henry for Lakewood Ranch. He's going to flip it out to Butler.
Butler drives it down the court slowly. As we see Fields.
Butler's going to push into the paint, take the shot, and that one's going to be blown dead.
contested, and Fields struggling to cover him there. It seems like he just got maybe a little carried away. And again, when you have a guy like Butler who is, I mean, clearly so strong, you can see the size of his calves alone, it's hard to contest him without fouling.
As Butler's going to take another free throw here.
Now, you're explaining, Mason, during the break, those little bands. What are those for? What do those do?
So in tennis, I wore one for a little while to hold my IT band in place, but basketball, it can hold so many of those ligaments behind your knee in place. And that's what I think that a lot of them wear it for, just to make sure you don't pop anything in your knees, because that's not very fun.
Absolutely, and you're seeing them wearing them on their lead leg, right? That's a lot of pressure, that's a lot of force when you're jumping off of it.
As Powell's going to try and put one in there. As Richmond's going to recover it.
Stan's calling for a foul that they don't quite get.
Richmond's going to go to Scalzo. Scalzo's going to take the shot.
Ooh, gorgeous shot, just missed.
Going to be recovered by Powell. Powell's going to push it back outside to Dawes.
Lakewood Ranch doing a great job of driving Powell into that corner.
Back to Hines. Hines is going to take another shot here, just to the left on that one.
And we see, you know, something we've noticed with Hines is he takes that shot and he immediately starts backing up. You know, that's something that's okay when you have a big, you know, in the paint like that, but he didn't quite have his man there. So
Perkins is going to flip it in here to Fields. Fields is going to go back to Perkins. Perkins to the outside to Hines. Hines is going to take another shot here, just short on that one. It's going to be covered by Richmond to Lakewood Ranch. Richmond's going to flip it to Scalzo. Scalzo's going to go to Olstad. Olstad's going to go to Richmond. It's Richmond to Butler.
Butler taking his time, organizing his offense here.
Butler into the paint to Henry. Henry's going to try and punch another one in. Miss is going to be recovered by Butler, and Butler's going to punch the layup in.
And Butler, I mean, so far in this game has been fantastic at driving into the paint. He just moves his defender with him in a way that so many others struggle to.
Definitely just keeps the Lakewood Ranch offense alive here. As you're going to see Hines here for Southeast, out to Perkins, back to Hines, back to Dawes, back to Hines, into the paint for Powell. Powell's going to go up for a shot, and Henry's just right there in his face.
Yeah, that's a fantastic block from Henry. I mean, I know he's proud of himself right there.
Yeah, saw a little flex at the end of that one.
Not getting carried away, though. Respectful.
Powell had no shot there.
Yeah. Again, we talked about size. It's so hard when you have a guy like that. It's so hard to move him.
Perkins going to quick pass into Powell.
Almost
It's going to be
stolen.
knocked free. Perkins is going to recover, though, and flip it out to Fields. Fields is going to go to Dawes. Dawes is going to push into the paint here. Go to Bird.
And so far, we've seen Lakewood Ranch so much better at keeping.
Bird out to Powell. Powell pushes into the paint and goes up for another shot there, and Henry's just in his face again.
So far, Lakewood Ranch so much better at keeping keeping Southeast out of the paint so far in this period.
Definitely, they came out of halftime with a much better game plan here for the paint. Perkins is going to go deep to Fields. Fields pushes into the paint, steps up, takes the shot, and punches one in.
And the crowd relieved to hear that.
Finally get some points on the board here in this half for Southeast. Scalzo has the ball here for Lakewood Ranch. Flips out to Butler.
Let's see Butler. He's probably going to drive right back in like he did before. He fakes it. And
Butler
he goes
right back in, goes back out to Scalzo. Scalzo takes the shot. Just off. Scalzo almost recovers his own rebound.
And now you're really seeing, as Butler and Scalzo get into this game, why they're such a difficult combo to deal with. Because Butler has the strength to push into the paint easily, but also has the option to flip out to Scalzo, who's an excellent three-point sniper.
Scalzo flips it into Bird there, and that one's going to be blown dead.
And you know, not just basketball, but almost any team sport is all about, you know, it's all about options. How many options do you have? And with Scalzo and Butler playing cohesively, it just gives you so many more options and so many more things.
Smith's going to step up for the shot here.
For Southeast to contend.
Just a little too much gas on that one. Going to be recovered by Bird, who flips it to Perkins, who goes to Fields, into the Powell to the paint. Powell's going to miss. Going to be recovered by Smith on Lakewood Ranch. Scalzo's going to go up the right side. Butler now has it. Butler's going to push into the paint, flip out to Scalzo, and that play is going to be blown dead. As Scalzo takes another beautiful shot. He must have made 4 or 5 at least today after the play's been blown dead.
Well, I know what his issue is. You should just do that before.
If only those counted.
I know he wishes they do.
And Southeast is going to make a huge substitution of players here.
Clearly, clearly Coach Woody seeing something needs to change and looking for a change in this offense.
As Lakewood Ranch starts to close in on the score a little bit, looks like Southeast is just trying to make sure they keep the pressure on. As you have Horns rushing up the side, flips it out to Bivens, and that ball's going to roll out of bounds. You're Southeast here. You don't want to let Lakewood Ranch try and climb back into this one.
And again, Scalzo is going to take the, Butler is going to take the inbound. And these two driving down the court, they're a dangerous weapon when they tag team like that together. A gorgeous snipe pass to Hawks.
Butler's going to take the shot, and that one's just a little low. Recovered by Smith, who falls down as he's jumping. Recovered by Bird. Bird's going to lose it. It's going to be recovered by Butler. Butler's going to flip it to Henry. Henry's going to go up in the paint. That one's going to be just short. Recovered by Butler. That one's going to be just short. And that one's going to be blown dead.
And again, even when there's some pandemonium in the paint there, alliteration was intended. You can see they're still drawing fouls, especially with Bird. He's a physical player, but it's very easy for physicality to turn into fouls.
Sometimes you'd rather have the foul than give up the points because you never know. They could miss both.
It's true. I mean, I will say something important to note at this point in the game. There's a lot of chirping from the stands. I think it's important, though, to say that these refs are volunteering their time, right? They deserve to be treated with a little bit of respect, regardless of how you feel about their calls.
Absolutely, and Butler's going to make the first one here. And the second one here. Recovered by Horns here. Out to Bivens. Bivens back out to Horns. Horns is going to flip to Bird. Bird's going to...
Gorgeous layup and a gorgeous play you saw.
There's a beautiful play there.
To Potter, back to Bird, just up, and a gorgeous layup.
And we got Butler into the paint, trying to get points on the board quick here, as the third period's going to come to an end there. So he was trying to rush in for 2.
And even though he didn't get that, that's a gorgeous little sequence. Look, you saw how much contention he had. He literally had 4 Southeast defenders on him.
Giving it everything he had there to try and put another 2 on the board.
I mean, it almost looks like skating, right? Would you say he's just skating around the defenders?
Absolutely. Looks like he put a pair of ice skates on him and was just gliding.
And that's what we've seen so far from Lakewood Ranch in the second half. It looks like a different team to me, right? They're playing with more communication. They're playing more tightly. What have you seen different?
Definitely. They look like they've slowed down the game a little bit. There have been some spots here where Southeast gets hot. They get back to that fast-paced momentum, and then they're putting points on the board again. They got to keep this game slow here. If they can do that, they could totally climb back into this one. They're only down by 9 with 1 period left to go here.
Absolutely. And so far, Southeast struggling to adapt to what looks like a new look for the Southeast, for the Lakewood Ranch offense.
Definitely. I think that's why you saw a different look from Southeast come out there, and now they're going back to that starting 5 again. Just make sure they can hold Lakewood Ranch off here.
And what do you think are some changes they can make to try and contain Butler, who clearly has been sort of dictating this game so far for the Mustangs?
I think if you're Southeast, you just try and go back to what you did to start the game and then go from there.
Absolutely. You say, you return to neutral and then you make your changes?
Absolutely.
Butler drives.
Butler's going to go into the paint and flip that one in.
You can't just let him keep doing that, though, if you're Southeast. I mean, he can make that play again and again. He's just driving past his defenders, and it's so hard to not draw a foul there.
Definitely. It's only a 7-point game here now as Smith flips to Bivens.
Bivens taking his time, organizing.
Bivens goes to Bird. Bird goes to Potter. Potter's going to flip to Hines. Hines is going to take the shot. Recovered by Bird. Recovered by Lakewood Ranch, and they throw down the sideline, and that one's just going to be a little bit far to the right.
And Horns looked like he was almost too deep there into the paint, just being boxed out by the Lakewood Ranch defenders. That's a really good move, keeping him out of that really, I don't know what to call it, a hot zone.
Yeah, they didn't really give him much of a chance once they got the ball to put it into the hoop.
And so far, Lakewood Ranch better at controlling the angles. They've not let those sort of wings form for a Southeast offense.
Absolutely, and Bivens is going to go to Smith here. Smith's going to push into the paint, jump up, take the shot. As that one spins out, it's going to be recovered by Potter. Potter's going to flip back out to Hines. Hines is going to take a shot. Going to be recovered by Smith at Lakewood Ranch. Flip out to Olstad.
As Henry gets that. Back to Scalzo. Scalzo looking to take a shot, but makes the extra pass as we have an injury. And it looks like Bird is down with an injury, and you hate to see that.
Hopefully it's nothing serious here.
He goes down grabbing his leg. And you see immediately his teammates down there with him as the athletic trainer, John Carl, down there helping him out.
Yeah, hopefully it's nothing serious. You hate to see it.
Absolutely. It looks like he's getting up, not putting weight on that right leg, though. And it looks like that's going to be it for Bird. As he receives an applause walking off the court. Really put his all out there, and you hate to see it.
Yeah, you hope it's something you can just walk off and come back into this one. But if you're Southeast, you got to shake it off and keep the pressure on here.
Now, what does that do for Southeast? I mean, well, it removes a big, which is, you know, not a terrible thing, right? They've been trying out different looks, and they have some depth. They can easily put in Shepard Perkins there to fill that role, but Bird's shoes are big ones to fill. And,
yeah, that's a tough loss.
He's such a defensive threat.
Bivens is going to step back and take the shot here. That's going to go off the rim.
Just missed when he wishes.
It's going to be recovered by Scalzo.
Scalzo driving down the court. Bird lays a screen there.
Scalzo's going to flip it to Butler just behind him. Butler recovers, though, and grabs it.
Excuse me, Butler, not Bird.
Butler pushes into the paint, flips out to Scalzo. Scalzo's going to take the shot. Just short there, recovered by Smith.
Southeast did a much better job of contesting Butler's drive.
Smith resets, flips out to Scalzo. Scalzo flips back to Butler. Butler pushes into the paint, flips out to Olstad, back to Henry, back to Butler. Butler goes into the paint again, goes up for the layup, and just a little too much on that one.
And it's that little spin move that Butler's been able to pull off. You saw in the last drive, we were able to contest it, but just fooled the Southeast defense this time. And again, it seems like every time he makes those drives, he's getting the foul because, well, they'd rather foul him than let him get up there.
You never know what can happen on these. Sometimes it's better to give up the one than the two, or who knows.
The issue is that Butler has been lights out from the free throw line all night, and that's a difficult thing to deal with, right? He's drawing fouls and he's lights out.
And he's going to make the first one there.
It's a lose-lose situation if you're Southeast.
Absolutely.
And they're starting to get concerned. The score now 33-37.
And he's going to make the second one. So it's going to be 34-37 Southeast with a 3-point lead right now.
Southeast absolutely starting to sweat.
Horns is going to flip to Bivens, back to Potter, back to Horns. Horns is going to push into the paint, take the shot. That one's going to be just outside, recovered by
recovers.
Bivens. Bivens is going to push in.
Contested, looks like he's
shot.
going to get the foul. And now you can hear cries of finally from the Southeast stands. They've been looking for sort of a reset, and you can hope that this is it.
Yeah, you got to make some of these here if you're Southeast and get this score past 3 points. You don't want it to be a one-shot game.
5 minutes and 37 seconds left in the
This Bivens makes the first one.
He makes that first one.
Took 2 steps after the screen. I guess you didn't see that one either, huh?
See if he can make the second one here. The second one's going to roll out. That's going to be recovered by Henry of Lakewood Ranch. He's going to flip back out to Olstad.
Olstad, an absolute workhorse for the Mustangs offense so far, just eating up minutes in a team that really needs guys who can do that.
As Butler's going to push into the paint, flips it to Henry. He's going to attempt to take the shot. A lot of bodies contested in there. Everybody in the paint.
Somehow no foul called.
Scalzo's going to take a shot here. That one's going to be just short. Looks like it was off the foot of Smith and recovered by Horns. He's going to flip back out to Smith. Smith is going to push into the paint.
And there you go, there's a foul.
Looks like he laid a truck hit on that one. Looked like he was playing Madden there.
No foul, excuse me, I'm mistaken. excuse me, was called a charge.
As that's going to be taken away by Horns there. Horns is going to push this one up the middle, trying to get this Southeast offense flowing. Horns is going to flip to Smith, and Smith's going to take a beautiful shot there and put that one in.
So hotly contested, an amazing
As
shot.
Butler's going to take this one right back, right into the paint. It's going to be blocked by Powell.
Hoping to respond with one of his own, but he doesn't quite manage. He gets that foul again.
As you see Horns here just trying to juice up this Southeast team, get them really flowing back to how they were in this first half. As Butler misses the first one.
And that's the first one he's missed in quite a few. Like I said before, he has been lights out from the free throw line.
He's been a huge rock for this Lakewood Ranch offense all day.
Southeast banging the drums, anything they can do to throw him off.
He's going to make the second one, though. The drums made no effect there.
Now, if you're Southeast, this is starting to look scary. 35-40. Southeast leading, but 4 minutes and 35 left. Plenty of time for Lakewood Ranch to change that.
Yeah, your goal here is obviously to hold Lakewood Ranch off, but you got to keep enough pressure on the offense here. You're going to need to put some more points on the board. The score is not going to be able to stay where it is.
And what you've seen is Southeast really struggling to respond to the threat, excuse me, the combo threat of Scalzo and Butler so far. You wonder how they can cope with that going forward. Do you have any ideas?
Definitely. I mean, I would have said Bird would have had a role in it, but without Bird now, you're going to be looking at a little bit of a struggle here from the Southeast offense. Somebody's going to have to step up.
I mean, you're hoping that's going to be Shepard Perkins, but he doesn't quite have the size that Bird has to contest. You're going to look for people like Dave Gallen to come in and Tavares Powell to be picking up some of the weight that Jalen Bird had shouldered.
See what Southeast comes out of here with.
As we see the athletic trainer continue to work on Bird there, hoping that he might be able to get back for the last minutes of this game, but it seems unlikely.
Looks like there was no substitutions for either teams there, as Horns is going to bring this one back in for Southeast. Horns is going to flip this one back out to Smith.
And I want to take this time to give a special shout out to, well, the people who make this possible, right? The MSTV program, the students, our fantastic coordinator, Carl, whose, help is paramount in making this work. I think we have a shot of the van here for you. Well, might have to wait on that.
But definitely, there's so many hands in the pot here and so many things that make this operation go round. A big thank you to everybody.
Absolutely. What MSTV is all about is going to these schools, engaging with their TV programs, and helping them with, nation-leading and world-class sports journalism.
As Butler's going to take a shot there, just long, recovered by Henry, and Henry's going to put it in here. As you're looking at the Mustangs down by 3 points here with 3:20 left to go. Bivens is going to push into the paint here now. Bivens takes a shot, flips that layup in.
Contested, that's a beautiful layup of his own. Switches to his offhand there, as you see.
And Scalzo's going to flip to Butler, as Butler brings this one back in. Back to Scalzo. Scalzo's going to flip deep to Henry. Henry's going to go back to Butler. Butler's going to go into the paint. Butler's going to take a shot. Looked like it was just long there, but it also might have been blown dead.
And yet again, it's going to be a Butler foul. So we're getting a live view of the truck there. You see our wonderful director here, Carl, with our switcher Parth. See Tommy. All these people making this possible.
As Butler's going to take his first shot that he's going to miss.
Not to mention everybody on the cameras right now. We have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cameras, all manned. All to bring you this live production.
That's going to be a huge add back for Southeast as Bird comes back into this game for Southeast to try and close this one out. As Butler takes his second shot here, and he's going to switch that one in. Yeah, but that addition of Bird back is huge.
It is, and he looks to be moving well.
As you have Smith pass into Potter, out to Bivens, back to Bird in the middle, back to the outside for Perkins. Perkins is going to try and flip it out to Smith, and he just can't get it to him.
And he's so hard when he's just pinned in the corner like that. It's so difficult because it's hard to pass out over the court because it's just going to get intercepted. He tries to make a pass sort of down the sideline there.
Not much you can do there.
Doesn't manage.
As Lakewood Ranch flips back into Smith. Smith pushes into the paint, attempts the layup, misses, recovered by Bird.
Bird drives down.
Bird just turns it over right back to Scalzo there as Butler's going to push over the middle. Perkins attempts a swat. Butler goes up into the paint. Another beautiful layup there by Butler.
Butler's ball handling is absolutely fantastic.
He's just looked unstoppable in the paint so far today. As Bivens is going to go into the paint, take his shot, and Bivens is going to cancel it right out there. That's the second time we've seen it this period where Bivens has just canceled out Butler's layup.
Every time they're in, it seems like it's a duel personally between Butler and Bivens. No clue how they feel about each other off the court, but certainly on the court, it's a fierce rivalry.
Yeah, it has been a duel. As Butler goes back into the paint here, as Henry jumps up and puts a layup in. Lakewood Ranch is going to be within 2 now. 42-44 Southeast. As Smith is going to push one to the paint, they're going to turn it over to Butler again. Butler's going to push it back over the middle, flip it outside to Scalzo. Scalzo's going to step back, take the shot, and Scalzo's going to bank it in.
What an incredible 3 there from Scalzo. Again, returning to his form as the natural sniper of this Lakewood Ranch offense.
As you see a timeout called here with 1:36 left, Southeast is going to be down by 1. Lakewood Ranch has clawed their way all the way back into this game. Southeast is going to have to get something going really fast here.
Absolutely, trying to reset. You saw Lakewood Ranch absolutely turn up the gas there, literally within the last 30 seconds. Just really putting pressure on the Southeast defense.
There's not much time left. You burn all that gas left in the gas tank, so you put your foot all the way down that throttle and just see what happens.
Absolutely, and what appears to be happening here is, it seems like a slugfest between Butler and Bivens, between Scalzo and Potter.
Yeah, the struggle you have right now here is all the momentum is flowing on that Lakewood Ranch sideline there. Southeast is going to have to get it going.
For Southeast, selfishly to quote my sweater, it's all about grit, right? How bad do you want it?
Hey, that's the same thing Dan Campbell preaches.
Oh, yeah. Go Lions, baby.
I think I know who you'll be rooting for next weekend.
You know it.
Hey, come on, White! Come on, White! Come on,
as we get back into this one here.
Let's finish.
Doesn't look like either team made any substitutions. They're going to roll back out the same group, see if they can close this one out. As Potter's going to flip inside to Horns. Horns going to go to Bivens. Bivens going to go to Perkins. Perkins back out to Bivens. Bivens into the paint, back out to Bird. Bird's going to take the shot. Sorry, excuse me, that was Horns. Horns going to take the shot.
Beautiful shot from the corner right there.
Beautiful shot from Horns in the corner.
Scalzo and Bird driving down the court. Let's see what they can do.
See if they got any magic left here. As Butler's going to go into the paint. Butler's going to flip out to Olstad. Olstad's going to take the shot. Just short. Recovered by Bird. A lot of contact in the paint there. Bird's going to flip out to Perkins. Perkins is running free down the court. Perkins is going to fake the pass, jump up for the layup, and that one's going to get stuck in the corner.
It's going to be another charge, I think. No, wrong again. Got to work on my analysis here.
It's going to be a foul there as Perkins is going to take a shot here. He faked that pass out to Bivens and just got fouled when he went to go up for the layup.
Now, not to subtract from any of the defense we've seen from Southeast so far, but really it seems like the only matchup that can tune down Butler has been Horns. Horns has a way of defending him physically without fouling, and it's a super fine line that Horns has been skating pretty masterfully.
Yeah, you got to tee that line, but don't step over it.
Horns is...
As Perkins misses the first one, he'll be shooting his second one here.
Horns is listed here as a freshman at 5'10". He has room to grow and the time to do it to develop into a real threat.
Absolutely. As Perkins misses the second one here, you're going to be looking at a 47-45 lead here for Southeast with 52 seconds left to go here. As both teams talk about their closing out strategies here.
Yeah, I think the word is going to be caution, right? It's so easy to get that adrenaline build-up to want to make that big play. You just have to remember to be cautious. Remember the design.
You got to calm yourself down and just remember all the things you practice. You can't get ahead of yourself.
Absolutely. It's so hard when so many hours, so much sweat, so many tears have gone into you know, the prep for a game like this. A game that, frankly, Southeast expected to be much easier than it's proven to be.
And it's very easy for me to say sitting over here on the sideline. I know it's much harder out there. See what both teams come up with here and if they roll back out that same personnel.
And it looks like it's going to be the same lineup, the same starting 5.
As they look to just, if you're Lakewood Ranch, come up with some points here, and if you're Southeast, close this one out. Some of the hardest time to play is that last minute. As Bivens is going to be passing this one in here. Bivens is going to go outside to Smith.
Smith taking his time.
Smith to Horns. Horns to Potter. Potter to Horns. Horns back to Smith, and Smith's going to run into the bench.
It's really tough. Again, with that pressure, you can make some undue plays.
Scows is going to go to Butler here with 36 seconds left. Butler's wasting a little bit of clock here. He's got to get something going. He's going to push into the paint here. He's going to take a shot. And that's just going to be
rejected by Potter.
He gave him no shot at that one.
What a play. As we see Butler skating.
Never gave him a chance. As you're going to see Scalzo bring this one in here. With 25 seconds left. See if Lakewood Ranch has any magic left in the tank.
Seems they've had no
Scouts
shortage.
Going to Olstad. Olstad's going to be out of bounds. Caught that one with his heels out.
You can see Southeast fans on the sidelines getting into it. Can't blame them. This has been a fantastic game so far. So close, so evenly matched in the second half.
Now you're going to see Potter bring this one in for Southeast. And if you're Southeast, you've got to wind down this clock here.
You want to kill time, but you want to get points on the board first.
Bird looks like he's trying to wind it down. He's going to flip outside to Smith. Smith's going to go to Hines. Or Horns, sorry. Horns is going to go back to Smith. And that one's going to be stopped. With 13 seconds left here, Lakewood Ranch is going to be doing everything they can to give themselves one more shot.
And again, 13 seconds and, 13.9 seconds on the clock. And I mean, with a 2-point lead, it's scary, right? It's all it takes is 1-3.
Yeah, if you're Southeast talking it over here, you're just talking about how you got to wind down this clock. Don't turn over the ball. And if you're Lakewood Ranch, you got to force a turnover because Southeast is going to be looking to flip this one back in.
I don't know. I mean, if you are Southeast and you see that opportunity, it's hard not to take the shot because you know Lakewood Ranch. I believe they have another timeout left in the tank.
Yeah, you're going to do everything you can here on both sides. You're going to have Smith bringing this one back in for Southeast. As Smith's going to go to Horns. Horns is going to go to Bivens. That one's going to be blown dead. You're seeing Lakewood Ranch here force some fouls, just trying to see if they can get this ball turnover. It's all you can do, rather than let Southeast waste this clock away with 9.6 seconds left. You're going to Smith bringing this one back in again. Smith's going to flip out to Potter. Potter's going to dance around on the sideline, try and waste some clock. Potter's going to go to Bivens. That one's going to be blown dead for a foul.
Yeah, now if I'm being honest, I didn't quite see the foul there. It didn't look like they made contact, but it's hard to see from our angle.
Yeah, no idea there, but too many fouls in that span of time there, and Southeast is going to have some free throws here. As Lakewood Ranch and Southeast is going to talk it over again here with 5.5 seconds left.
And I'm a little confused about what's going on here. It looks like he had the ball in his hands, and I don't believe they're allowed to call a timeout at that point, but I mean, clearly the ref's allowing it.
I'm going to trust their judgment there.
I definitely trust their knowledge of the game more than mine.
See what Lakewood Ranch is talking over here, because obviously they need the ball back to give them any chance here. And see what Southeast is talking over here, where they're playing to wind down these last few seconds. because we've seen Lakewood Ranches where it's just to try and foul out and see if they can get a sloppy turnover.
5.5 seconds here left on the clock. If Lakewood Ranch gets their hands on the ball, you're going to hear this. You're going to hear these stands erupt.
Absolutely. This is one of those scenarios where that last minute of a sport feels like an hour.
Absolutely, and it seems like it's taken an hour with how many fouls and timeouts we've seen.
For sure.
We already cold. We don't need none of that. We can't buy a basket.
Seems like maybe the basketball equivalent of icing the kicker there.
Yeah, see if they can get him to mess up here. That's all you can hope for. If he makes both, you might be looking at this game being over.
I think he might have been awarded 3. Excuse me, no, it is 2.
You're going to see Potter take the first one here. And the first one's going to be good. That's going to give Southeast a 3-point lead here. That is huge.
I mean, Southeast fans sort of breathing a sigh of relief.
Absolutely. This Potter's going to get ready to take his second one here. And his second one's going to be short. It's going to be recovered by Scalzo. Scalzo's going to take the shot off the backboard. Butler's going to go up for the shot, and that's going to be the clock. And that is going to be time. With no time left on the clock here, Southeast is going to win this one 48-45.
You have some quick concluding thoughts there?
Southeast really figured it out there with 1:30 left. They really turned on the gas and didn't let off of it. What did you see there from both sides?
Absolutely. I mean, so impressive what Lakewood Ranch did coming back after that second half. Unfortunately, you know, Southeast played that last, call it 1.5 minutes really perfectly, which is so hard to do, and it's just a testament to the quality of the coaching. And I mean, frankly, the quality of the coaching on both sides. I've been William Ailes.
And I've been Mason Best. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. And we'll see you back for our next shoot.
Hopefully.